Hey YouTube, Carter here. Got another video for you, but before we start, I just want to appreciate everybody that clicked on this video, is taking these few minutes to hang out with me. Any comments, feedback that you leave is always appreciated. Really grateful when you guys watch these videos. I enjoy making them, so when you guys watch them, it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. We're looking at a Gerber Model 6 Auto today. Now, I probably titled this video something dumb like Gerber makes autos, exclamation, exclamation, question mark. I don't know if that's really valid anymore. When I first picked this up about 10 years ago, this is a new one. I sold that one. Same old story. When I first picked it up, I was shocked that Gerber made an automatic knife that was made here in the US. I was blown away. I think since then, it's probably not shocking to people. It's probably more well known. They've got a number of different automatic models available, both different trims of the 06 as well as a few other automatic knives, all made in the US. But to me, in my heart, I still find it strange. When I was growing up in the knife world, Gerber meant Walmart knives made in China. You know, they're fine for what they are. A lot of people would carry them. They weren't really knife guys. So when I found out they had a cool tactical automatic knife, I was in. And I missed the one I sold, so I got it again. Something about this knife, something about the silhouette, the shape, the design, I don't know. I really like it. I know the whole blacked out kind of tank tactical thing isn't really in right now, but it still holds a place in my heart from the early days of knife collecting when that was new and fresh and exciting. So sorry for the ramble, let's get into it. So we're looking at a medium size / large sized automatic knife. It's a side opening automatic, obviously, as you can see. Let's do the size comparison with the Paramilitary 2. As you can tell, very similar in size, a little bit longer on the 6 Auto here, but very manageable. Not too crazy, not too shabby. When we're talking about weight, it is a little bit of a chunker. 6.2 ounces. It is a little bit heavy. Most of that has to do with the handle here, which is G10 scales with steel liners. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more now. I'm going to do kind of the things I like and things I don't like about this knife real quick. But before that, let's keep talking. So this one has a black coated tanto blade, has that DLC kind of black oxide coating. I really like that coating. It's got like a matte rustic finish to it. Really like the tanto profile on this. It just looks well done. I like the shape. I just like the whole silhouette of this knife. I love this piece here, how it's symmetrical. And then the angles of the tanto blade against the organic shapes of the handle. Something about the tanto on this with the handle I just really, really like. Got your pocket clip on the back. It has a similar kind of black oxide finish to it. You've got a steel glass breaker / lanyard loop back here. Here's a big plastered, made in Portland, Oregon, S30V on the side here. I actually think it kind of looks cool. I know it's weird. Normally I hate billboard plastering on a knife. I kind of like it. I don't know why. It looks kind of cool. I wish it was left justified, though. It kind of bugs me that it's quasi-centered and it's not quite right. The OCD in me kind of freaks out on that. The grind on this blade is pretty shallow, just meaning the blade stock is actually not that thick. You'd think it would be thicker on a knife like this when you look at it this way. Not that thick, so this bevel here, this primary bevel, is a pretty light kind of bevel down. In fact, this transition from the tip to the main bevel here, you can just barely even see that there's a line there at all. That is one critique I have for this knife. I wish I had thicker blade stock. It would just go with the knife a little bit better. It does have a pretty thick handle and a pretty heavy handle, so the balance point is a little far back. It's handle heavy. And I was racking my brain on how they could lighten up this handle. There might be a few things you could do. It already has lightning holes in it. But I think the better solution is just go all in and do thicker blade stock. I think it would look better. I think it wouldn't look as kind of off with how thick this handle is and the blade stock. And I think it would fit the overall kind of design of the heavy duty, beefy tactical knife, even though I think this is still heavy duty enough. So Kind of dived into the things I like and don't like already, but let's continue on with the features here. So this does have a safety with a very positive click. I really like that. Prevents the button from being pressed is all that safety does. So even when it's closed, can't press the button. Now you can press the button. The reason the safety is needed is because this particular button sits proud from the handle. So if there wasn't a safety, you could actuate this by accident. Laying it on any kind of flat surface, this button will depress. So the only way to get away with not having a safety would be if this button was inset into the scales so that when it's sitting flat, the button wouldn't press. So it's a trade-off, right? So with the safety, really easy to actuate that button. You can feel for it in the dark. You know exactly where that button is, but you do need that safety or else you will accidentally press that, even if it's in your pocket, which is not a good thing because this is a quite sharp blade. It came very, very sharp. So, things I don't like about this knife. Now, let's start with things I don't like about this knife. So I already mentioned the blade stock being too thin. And like I said, that could be handled by lightening and thinning up the handle, but then you wouldn't get kind of this good feel. And this, now I'm going into things I do like. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you were to thicken up this blade stock, I think it would kind of make the whole thing flow a little bit better. It'd fit the theme of the heavy duty, badass folder, automatic, and fix the balance problem, make it not so handle heavy. The whole thing would be heavier, but I think that would work and be pretty cool. Centering is off on this. That's unfortunate. I tried to fix it. Didn't work. I did the old tricks, loosened all the screws, cranked it over, tightened them up. Didn't work, so it's kind of just off-center. It doesn't rub. Fires really, really hard, but it is off-centered. Don't love the pocket clip. It doesn't sit very deep. That much is going to be sticking out. They utilize these screws, which actually go all the way through to this and are support screws. But I feel like they could have skipped this screw and actually went over and maybe just utilize these two, and then you could at least get maybe up to here as a simple way to fix that. The other problem with the pocket clip, well, it's not really a pocket clip, it's the texture. It has a very grippy texture on this, and it is going to be a pocket shredder, which I've already noticed. As you can see right there, getting it in and out of your pocket. Very similar to like an Emerson or something of that nature. Now, the other thing that I don't like about this is, I think that's it. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that's it. Yeah, not a lot. And the centering thing is unique to this one. The last one I had wasn't even centered. So really it's kind of just the balance is off and the blade stock is a little thin for how thick the handle is. And that's about it. So let's get to the things I do like. I already mentioned I love the profile of this knife. I think it looks cool. I like the way it presents itself. If you're into that kind of black tactical knife, I think it's a good contender up there with like the Benchmade AFO and some of these others at a much better price. Way cheaper than a lot of these other offerings. The other thing I really like about it is as I mentioned before, the ergonomics. For me, it feels really, really good. I like this thick handle. It feels amazing in the hand. You've got these different choils here. Your hand just locks right into this bad boy, and it feels so good. Another thing is it fires hard. Even though I said the blade stock's kind of thin, it's still a big blade, and it fires really quick and really hard. It seems like on camera, it always seems like autos go slower than they seem in real life, but it fires nice and hard. I really, really like that. I like the materials. S30V's fine, good standard steel. I know it's not Magna Cut or anything like that, but still very serviceable, tried and true, good stuff. The other thing I like about this is the construction. I love that it's an open construction design. You don't see that in side opening automatics all that much. It seems like when people go to the make a side automatic knife school, first thing they're taught is to do a closed aluminum handle. I don't know why that is so prevalent in the automatic knife world. It seems like that's the default, to the point where I think a lot of people just assume that's the only way you can make them, and that is absolutely not true. I would like to see more knife makers take a traditional knife design like this with two scales or something similar, and have different materials on the outside. That brings me to the other thing, the G10. I really like the G10. I did mention it's a little grippy behind the pocket clip, but I like the way it looks. I love G10. It's super, super grippy. It's not going to slip out of your hands. And I like that they're doing that on an automatic. I'm about sick and tired of the all aluminum handles. You know, they're nice, they have their place, but I want to see more variety like this. And I really like what they did here. The other benefit to this is when you're looking at the locking mechanism, let's see if we can see in here. I don't know if I have enough light, but there's a little channel in here that this locking drum goes into. When it opens up and it sits in there, and then this locking drum goes through these steel liners. So very robust locking mechanism. There's nothing hitting aluminum. If you were to get a back force on this blade, it's not going to deform any aluminum or anything like that. So very, very robust. It's steel on steel on steel. Not even titanium, just all steel. And so it's going to have a very secure locking mechanism with this button. And I really like that as well. I like how it has steel liners. I like how they did attempt to lighten it up by putting holes all throughout here where they could. They could maybe do squares and get a little bit more weight off. Hard to say. The other option they could do is the glass breaker here. I think they could probably shave a little bit of material off of here. Like I said, ditch one of these screws. I really don't think you need 3 of these. This is a very robust design. 3 is a little overkill. If you did that, you could shave some of this weight off of the glass breaker here. You could also attempt ditching the lanyard hole and just have this go smooth and really just have a steel spacer. That would reduce some weight as well. And that goes to the third thing with this is it's a very, very robust design. This thing feels super solid in your hand. It does not wiggle. It does not move. It does not bend. Very, very robust design in an automatic knife made in the US by Gerber, of all companies. So this is the 06 Auto. I think it's really cool. I know it's not everyone's taste. Might be a little cheesy to some people. Might be a little too tactical. And I get that. But everybody needs a little tactical in their life, in my opinion. So if you're interested in a tactical kind of automatic side opening knife, I would definitely recommend checking out the Gerber 06. They've got different configurations, stonewash blades, drop points, things like that. And for automatics, it's quite affordable. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, they offer the same model in aluminum handles. So if that is your thing and you want just aluminum handles, you can get that as well. However, it is an open design just like this. It's really just aluminum instead of G10. So, all right, guys, that's it. Quick look. Gerber 06 OTF. Check it out if you haven't. If you're in the market for something like this, I really like it. And until then, comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Talk to you guys later.